Okay, we're live. Hello, it's Bill, the Knee Pain Guru. Today is Friday, May 7th, 2021. We're going to talk today about how knee pain, you're going to like this, it's going to hurt, and it's not going to hurt your knee, how knee pain affects your hearing. And most people don't think that knee pain would affect your hearing. It's like your knees are way down below your waist, halfway down your legs, and your ears are up by your head, above your shoulders. But I'm going to give you a perfect example of what that looks like. So let me share with you. Let's see, knee pain affects your hearing. So I answered this question yesterday, or I addressed this situation yesterday. It was from a Heather, and she was, let's see, 5 months after her operation, terribly frustrated, aggravated and frustrated at her situation, that she's trying to get her knee to bend and break up scar tissue, and it stiffens back up and can hardly get it to bend, and doing PT and having major issues with it bending and all this kind of stuff. And she wants to figure out how to get it to bend more. Like, what's going on? How come the physical therapy doesn't work? How come what I'm doing isn't working? So I went point by point on what's going on neurologically. That it's when you're talking about just bending the knee, breaking up scar tissue, you're only talking about surface level stuff. It's just physical. We're not talking about the neurology underneath that is telling the knee to hurt, that is telling the body to tense up to protect itself. Went through all of that. I shared that video link with her because I want to help her. I want to improve her life. So I posted it. I said, here's your suggestions. This is exactly what you're looking for. And she replied and said it was much appreciated. And I'm happy to do that. So here's the effective part. Here's like when we take knowledge and create wisdom. So what's the difference between knowledge and wisdom? Knowledge or wisdom is knowledge put into action. So my question to Heather yesterday evening was, what are you going to do with the information that I shared with you? Like, how is this going to change your life? And she responds, continue working through the pain every day like I've been doing. Like, it's almost as if you didn't hear anything I said. Almost. Actually, it was like that. Because if there is a solution to get yourself out of pain by creating comfort, and you would go back doing what is going to cause you pain, what you complained to have a video done to begin with, that's strange to me. Like, I'm having a difficult time wrapping my head around it. And the only thing I can put my finger on it, as far as understanding that, is this is what happens when trauma shows up in the body. Trauma, there's a disconnect. Like, people have PTSD, they're walking down the street and the sun is shining and the birds are singing, and all of a sudden, like, something happens and they have a flashback and now they're having a meltdown. There's a disconnect between what's happening right now and what they think is happening. And this is what happens with knee pain. And this is what happens. It happens gradually and over time, where there's a disconnect with reality. And what we're doing that is actually setting up the very conditions that we're trying to get out of. There's a part of us that is unsettled with it. There's a part of us that wants to be out of pain. But many times we aren't willing to do the very things that are going to make a difference. These people identify with their pain. They draw energy from other people with their pain. They get to tell a poor me story on how terrible their pain is. And that's how they identify, is with the pain. And all of a sudden, if the pain isn't there anymore, what are they going to talk about? Who are they? What are they going to identify as? if that's how you're identifying with yourself right now. And I said in the beginning of the video, this one's going to hurt, but not your knees. And this is where we get into the psychology of pain, the emotional component of pain, because pain is a feeling. Pain, well, the light was on. The point of what I'm saying is there's this huge emotional, psychological component that contributes to physical pain. We equate it in our physical body. I could point to my knee or my shoulder or my back where it hurts. But that physical experience of pain begins to change how we move. It begins to change how we think. It begins to change how we feel. We move differently because we don't want to feel the pain. It's a natural response. It changes physically how we move. It changes how we feel. You wake up after a poor night's sleep, you're going to be cranky as hell. And you don't want to hear what anybody has to say because you can't get away from it. It affects how you feel, happy or sad, angry, depressed. All of that is affected by the physical pain that you're feeling on a daily basis. How you feel about what you're able to do or not able to do. When you think about all the things you used to do when you were younger, before your knee injury. And the knee injury is the delineation line between your old life and what you're living right now. It affects how you think. You start thinking like an older person. You start thinking like a feeble person. You get sick easier and more often because your pelvis isn't moving the way it needs to flush the lymph through your body. You eat differently. You want more comfort foods because you don't feel like moving. And it all compounds and affects how you feel, how you think, how you move. And it affects what you hear too. So I can give you the best, the absolute best outcome that you can work towards. But your mind isn't in a place to even be able to hear what I have to share. And why isn't it? Because you don't even believe it. You've created a pattern. It's what you normally do. So like I said, pain, knee pain, it's something else. If you got questions, there's a few people on the line. We're live here on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope. If you got questions, please enter those in the comments section. I'm happy to comment on those. And what'll happen, like in Heather's situation, I would encourage her to keep suffering. You'd be like, why would you have her keep suffering? Because until you're at a place where you're willing to change, you got to keep suffering. It's required. Because there's a fear. If I change, I don't know, like it's uncertainty. I don't know what the future is going to look like. You can depend on your knee hurting every day. You can depend on the range of motion. You struggling with range of motion. But all of a sudden that's different. You can't depend, like life looks different. Can I exercise? I don't have an excuse for the weight I'm gaining. I don't have a reason why I snapped at this person or that person. I could wake up and I could have had a good night's sleep. Who you are changes, fundamentally changes. This is why we have to look at the neurology. This is like why we have to look at changing the fundamental neurology in the knee. Because if we don't change that, you're just pushing through patterns of how your neurology is currently stuck in. And it doesn't lead to exponential growth. It doesn't make things change for the better permanently. is deep stuff. However, that's where we're at, because I see this, and I see people not able to hear because of their knee pain. Okay, if you liked it, if you're still here, I got plenty more where that comes from. You can head on over to thekneepainguru.com. You can join my newsletter. I send out emails every day talking about different things like this, different situations and scenarios. You can also set up an appointment. You want a consultation? I'd be happy to chat with you about your knee situation. We can develop a strategy. What's going on? It could be, strictly alternative if that's what you want to do. If you want to go the conventional route, I can guide you through my knowledge and experience over the past 22 years. And if you want to hybridize the two of them, there's some people that get knee injections as a strategy for a longer term approach. There's people that it all depends. And once again, this is how the knee pain affects the mind. It's difficult to see through all of these things. It's difficult to see objectively when you're suffering in pain. So if I can offer that as a way to guide you through that, look for the landmines and the pitfalls, make a list of questions you can ask your doctor when you go see your doctor. There's all sorts of different things we can chat and talk about if that would be of service to you. If it doesn't, that's cool too. And also I have my group coaching program, Knee Club, where we meet on it's a private Zoom call twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. And whenever you sign up, you begin with a quick start guide that you begin working with your knees. The quick start guide is a template that if I were to work with 1,000 people with knee pain, it would work for 990 of them, that they begin relieving the pain in their knee. And then on the calls, we tweak and adjust. So we continue to customize a program based on where you hurt today, where you're struggling today, and we continue to customize it through the process. You have to participate. Like, I can't do it for you. Once again, like Heather, I'm not there in person. And we get better results. As long as you show up, as long as you do the homework, I can get you better results than a lot of people that are in person. Let's see here. Kathy, currently getting chiropractor adjustments for numerous issues, including sciatica. Is it best to wait until those are over to join Knee Club? Kathy, the short answer is no. The larger answer is understanding the role of each type of person you're getting to help. So chiropractor, they're awesome. I've gone to hundreds of chiropractic appointments in my life. I think they're absolutely phenomenal. And not all chiropractors are created equal, so I'm going to paint a pretty broad brush here. However, for the most part, chiropractors are taking bones that are out of place and putting them back into place. That is known as a direct approach. Direct approach to getting the body back into alignment. What ends up happening, though, is what pulls the bones out are the tension on the tendons, the ligaments, the fluid, the fascia. So essentially tension patterns that are going on in the body. Those pull the bones out. So you think of it like a tent pole. Tent pole bends in the direction of the tightest rope on that tent pole. In order to get that, the chiropractor is essentially taking that tent pole and pushing it straight. But if we haven't addressed the tension on the ropes, as soon as we let go of the tent pole, it's going to bend in the direction of the tightest ropes. So chiropractors are valuable in specific situations and scenarios. I know, based on my own experience over the past 20 years, when I need to go to a chiropractor and when I don't. So chiropractors use a direct approach. There is also an indirect approach. And that's what we do in Knee Club. We're taking the tension off of the ropes so the tent pole goes back straight on its own. And there are lots of different tension patterns that are going on in your body that are causing the pressure to go down into the knees. So working in Knee Club can actually enhance your work with the chiropractor because we're relaxing the tension patterns that you can go to the chiropractor to get more effective and longer lasting adjustments. So there's that. There's also an aspect of understanding the tension that's going on in the physical body that if you're comfortable, do you need to go to anyone? And that is my goal in Knee Club for you, is how can you create comfort in your knee and in your body on a level where just on a baseline every day, you feel pretty good. So that would be my, it's my dad used to give my grandfather a hard time. He would say, well, I asked my dad what time it was, and he told me how to build a watch. And I give extensive explanations, not to belabor the point, but to build a larger picture so you can understand what is the best path for you. Most times people are going to a doctor, a chiropractor, a pain specialist, whoever they're going to, it's because that's the first thing that pops into their head. Not being able to take a step back and look at the bigger picture of what is the outcome that they want. And that's important to understand if you're truly on the path to wellness for your body. So I wanted to share that with you because it's a broader picture. There is a client that I'm working with out of Great Britain. He's in Knee Club, Bradley. Bradley was doing great. He had chondromalacia in both knees, grade 3 and grade 4, something like that. So chondromalacia is irritation behind the kneecap. He's doing awesome. He was, in his mind, when he started the program, he was like, I'm going to need a surgery. That's just what I'm going to have to do. He kind of defaults there. And he was doing awesome. And we were getting him to do all sorts of movements that he didn't think was possible when he first started the program. About within the past month, he got food poisoning. And when he got food poisoning, it created systemic inflammation in his body, which made his knee pain come back. Now, I am not the food poisoning specialist, and that is a direction that he would need help and support with other people. I've been guiding and directing him the types of practitioners or doctors to have conversation about possibilities that would bring a solution for him. And understand okay. More questions. Feel free to thumbs up. If you want to know next, this is very people need to know.